What's up, party people? It's your girl. Welcome to China and welcome to my channel. And hello, my friends. And today, y'all, we're about to dissect another one of Kevin Samuels' methodologies. Because y'all know I've been watching Kevin Samuels now for like 24 days straight. And this one is really meaningful. So I hope you guys stick around and let's talk about it. So today I want to talk about something that Kevin Samuels has been talking about constantly in his videos as well. We know Kevin is outspoken. I've already talked about it in my other videos. Watch it if you haven't. But something else that Kevin has been advocating for that I want to bring up that is more on a positive note is he's an advocate for therapy for Black people, for the Black community, for people in general. Literally anyone who calls, he always also asks the question of, are you in therapy? Or have you went to therapy to work through your problems, or to work through this mindset, or to get where you want to be? Have you tried to talk these things through or work through your issues through therapy? And a lot of people say no. A lot of people lie, a lot of people are not. And I, am actively in therapy now. I've been in therapy on and off for the past 3 years when I need it. And I am consistently going, and I want to touch on and tell my story as well as talk about Kevin's mythology as well when it comes down to anxiety and different things within dating and all those things. So the first point that I want to make is how not going to therapy can affect your relationships. So a big thing for me is when I started to go to therapy, I just got out of a negative relationship with my ex. To be transparent, it was very toxic and I got some bad news and it was a bunch of bad deals going on. So my mindset was so low, and I was just so upset that my anxiety, I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, which is the anxiety of overthinking basically, and I was throwing up or vomiting every single day because I was so stressed. I was working a dead-end sales job. I just got out of acting school in college. For those who don't know, I studied acting in college. I was trying to make money to get to my agency. It was a lot of things going on, and I was extremely sick. And during this time, I was still trying to date, and I was just making a lot of toxic choices, and I was just continuing to do toxic things and not serve myself. So it got to the point where just me dating and being out of line, it took over my whole life. So I decided to move home because my anxiety was so bad. I moved from Chicago. I left my agent. I left my college town. I left my sales job, and I moved back home to Michigan to stay with my parents and go to therapy. And if I did not see my first therapist, who was a Black woman, and I do advocate to see someone who looks like you, she told me, long story short, through all my issues that, I'm a big whale, and I can't be in a small pool of water. I'm a big force, and I can't just be around and surround myself with small fish and everybody. And after I knew that, then I took my power back and I started to gain myself back. And then that's when I was able to make genuine relationships with people. I burned so many bridges with people before I went to therapy, and it's just so interesting that a lot of people I hear talk on this show, and I think the reason why I enjoy Kevin Samuels' show so much when he talks to these women is because I see the other side and I see how he does help women. I remember in one clip Kevin was saying how one woman was going through a lot of things and she had never been to therapy and she was single for a long time, the usual, right? And she was actually receptive to Kevin's methods and the things he was talking about. And he said, okay, well, just at least send me an email. I heard him say this to a couple women. Just let me know that you've at least went to therapy. Because going to therapy, let me tell you, if you've never been in your life, that is the first step to finding yourself and being happy. So a lot of these things and a lot of these opinions people have about, his content, that's cool, that's fine, that's dandy. But also, if these people and some of the people have went through therapy and worked through therapy, you can just hear how the conversations are different. They're more progressive and you're able to take more things in. I remember before I went to therapy, I was so combative to hear about myself. I didn't want to change myself. I was so stuck in my evil ways. And also, something that's interesting about me going to therapy for my personal journey is I can talk through any issue that I have in my relationship right now. We go through a lot. My boyfriend works a lot. You have to work a lot to make the bacon. He takes care of us in our household. We have a good dynamic going on. But also what I have to make sure is that my mental health is in check. If I want to be there to hold him down, if I want to be there to express myself, if I'm feeling low, if my anxiety is high, if I can't express myself within my relationship, then no matter if you have a high value man, woman, boy, or girl, whoever alike, if your mental space is not good, then you will not be able to go far. And I think that that's something that people miss. And that's also one of the first questions, or the questions that he'll interject, is that, did you go to therapy? And sometimes you have to try a different therapist. I've been through 3 different therapists, you guys. Right now, I am seeing a therapist, a younger black woman. The one that I had, her and I got through a lot of good things. I moved out of state, things changed, but it's very, very important for you to try different people. If someone doesn't fit, it's very much so like dating. But I want to tell you that I agree, and one thing that I will attest and definitely stand by Kevin saying is that therapy is needed. You have to go to therapy. He goes to therapy. A lot of people go to therapy, and we as black people, as a community, whomever, men and women, no matter what color you are, if you've been through anything, if you've been living on this earth right now, you can definitely go to therapy because it's something to talk about. And also, it's interesting to be in relationships and have relationships with people, not just my relationship, but my relationship with friends and family members who are not in therapy. The conversations are different. You can't expand. You can't really understand and open yourself up until you have somebody who does not know you, who's able to talk to you and tell you, and you're able to express yourself. I just got out of therapy today, and I was talking to my therapist about how powerful it is, and this is why I had this conversation and I wanted to come here today, how powerful it is to go to therapy as a black person. It is almost like we are taking our power back into society to have a right mind, to make sure that we have our mental health together. And we already know that we have those disadvantages, that we as a community do not go to therapy. It's getting better, but it's not always perfect. And I'll be lying if I said that black therapists are out of some of them are out of network, which means that they're not covered by insurance. A lot of us don't even have the resources. A lot of people aren't lucky enough to, it's a hard time. It's a hard time. People just don't have the resources or the money to. So that's something that I also want to say, that it's not just easy to go to therapy, I understand, but it is resources. It is ways that you can. People are doing pro bono therapy. Literally right now during COVID-19, I have insurance, but they do cover it in certain circumstances. So just reaching out and finding someone, it doesn't have to be a therapist, a psychologist, it can also be a counselor, but whomever you can talk to get those feelings out, I think that would make a huge difference in the conversation. So something that I want to challenge you guys, because I know we talk about Kevin Samuels here and we have before, is when you're looking at his content, just pay attention to the difference of how people who he asks, like some people, he doesn't ask everybody, but for the people he does who are troubled, have you been through therapy? Or people will start off like, I have been going through therapy. So that should be a huge conversation for a lot of people. And I don't think it's bad to ask somebody you're dating, have you been to therapy? Is that okay? So I think that this mythology, whatever you want to call it, that Kevin is preaching about, at least going to therapy, would be half of the battle of why people are getting upset. It's the truth, it's the narrative, that we can't change ourselves, that we're perfect, and baby, I am cute, but I ain't perfect, okay? So that's just something that I think that Kevin also talks about, and something that I do admire and that I do like. So with that being said, you guys, I am on my way to 700 subscribers. Leave a comment and let me know if you are here, if you've seen my other video about Kevin, how you feel about going to therapy in the black community, if you think that it's helpful, and if you think that it's something that we should also do and talk about. I'm in therapy, been in therapy on and off for 3 years, currently in it now, just left my session, and I feel great, just like the tiger, okay, baby? Let me know. See you.